Homelessness is one of the most pressing challenges facing America today, and some cities are struggling more than others. From skyrocketing housing costs to limited resources, these cities are grappling with a growing number of people living on the streets. In 2024, the problem has reached new heights, and understanding where it's most severe is crucial. Today, we're counting down the 10 cities with the highest homeless populations in America. These places tell a story of resilience, inequality, and the urgent need for solutions. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more engaging content. Let's get started. Number 10. Portland, Oregon. Portland has become a focal point for homelessness, with over 6,000 individuals living without permanent shelter in 2024. The city's progressive policies and mild climate have made it a destination for many, but the high cost of living and shortage of affordable housing are significant contributors to the crisis. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment averages around $1,800, pricing out many low-income residents. The downtown area and neighborhoods like Old Town have seen a noticeable increase in encampments. While Portland has allocated funds for temporary shelters and supportive housing, these measures struggle to keep up with the demand. Advocates argue that the city needs more long-term solutions, including expanded mental health and addiction services. Portland's homelessness crisis is compounded by a rise in drug addiction and untreated mental health conditions. The city's harm reduction programs have helped some, but the scale of the problem requires more resources. Public spaces, such as parks and sidewalks, are often occupied by encampments, leading to tensions with local residents and businesses. Despite these challenges, Portland remains committed to finding solutions. Initiatives like the Metro Housing Bond aim to increase affordable housing across the region. However, the road to meaningful progress is long, and the city continues to face criticism for its handling of the crisis. Portland's homelessness situation highlights the need for comprehensive policies that address not just housing, but also the underlying causes. The city's future depends on how effectively it can balance compassion with practical solutions. Number 9. Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is home to a homeless population of over 9,000 people, many of whom struggle with access to affordable housing and healthcare. Despite being one of the fastest-growing cities in the U.S., Atlanta's development boom has left behind some of its most vulnerable residents. Gentrification has displaced many low-income families, exacerbating the crisis. Homeless shelters in Atlanta are often at capacity, leaving thousands to sleep in cars, parks, or temporary encampments. The city has implemented initiatives to reduce homelessness, such as rapid rehousing programs, but progress has been slow. Rising rents and stagnant wages continue to outpace these efforts. Atlanta's mild climate draws people from colder regions, adding to the city's homeless population. However, this also means that many shelters face year-round demand, putting additional pressure on resources. Local nonprofits work tirelessly to fill the gaps, but the need far exceeds the supply. Mental health services and addiction recovery programs are critical in Atlanta, as many unhoused individuals face these challenges. Unfortunately, limited funding and staff shortages have created barriers to effective treatment. Advocates are calling for greater investment in these areas. Despite its challenges, Atlanta is making strides through partnerships between government agencies and private organizations. Tackling the root causes of homelessness remains a top priority for the city's leaders. Number 8. Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas may be known for its glitz and glamour, but it also has a homeless population of over 11,000 individuals in 2024. The city's economy, heavily reliant on tourism, creates instability for workers in low-wage jobs. When the pandemic hit, many lost their livelihoods, pushing more people into homelessness. The desert climate poses unique challenges, with extreme heat in the summer and cold nights in the winter. Many unhoused individuals seek refuge in the city's underground tunnels, which offer temporary shelter but are far from safe. These hidden communities highlight the desperation faced by those without homes. Las Vegas has invested in programs like the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center, offering 24/7 access to services. However, the sheer scale of the problem outpaces available resources. High housing costs and a lack of affordable rental units exacerbate the situation. Addiction is a significant factor in Las Vegas, with many individuals falling into cycles of substance abuse. Local organizations are working to provide recovery programs and counseling, but funding remains a constant hurdle. The city also faces criticism for criminalizing homelessness through strict vagrancy laws. Despite these challenges, Las Vegas continues to innovate with pilot programs aimed at addressing homelessness. Partnerships between nonprofits and city officials are critical in finding sustainable solutions for its vulnerable population. Number 7. Chicago, Illinois. Chicago's homeless population is estimated at over 12,000, with thousands more at risk of losing their housing due to rising rents and low wages. The Windy City has seen a steady increase in homelessness, particularly among families and veterans. Public housing shortages leave many with no place to turn. The harsh winters in Chicago make homelessness especially dangerous. Emergency shelters fill up quickly during freezing temperatures, leaving many to rely on warming centers or temporary encampments. Local organizations like the Chicago Coalition for the Homeless advocate for increased funding and resources. Affordable housing is one of the city's biggest challenges, with gentrification pushing low-income residents out of their neighborhoods. Efforts to create more housing options have been slow, and many homeless individuals are left on waiting lists for assistance. The city's budget constraints further complicate these efforts. Mental health and addiction issues are prevalent among Chicago's homeless population. While the city has expanded access to services, systemic barriers often prevent individuals from getting the help they need. Advocates are calling for comprehensive, long-term care solutions. Chicago's resilience lies in its community-driven initiatives. From food banks to mobile healthcare units, residents and nonprofits are stepping up to provide support. The fight against homelessness continues, but it's clear that more investment is needed to address the root causes. Number 6. San Diego, California. San Diego, with its beautiful coastline and mild climate, has a homeless population exceeding 13,000 individuals in 2024. Despite its scenic appeal, the city grapples with rising rents and a severe shortage of affordable housing. Many working-class residents find themselves priced out of the market, contributing to the growing number of unhoused individuals. The city has seen a surge in homeless encampments, particularly in areas like East Village and downtown. San Diego's efforts to provide temporary shelters and housing vouchers have had some success, but the scale of the issue remains daunting. Many shelters report being at full capacity, leaving thousands without safe refuge. Healthcare access is another challenge, especially for individuals struggling with mental health issues and addiction. San Diego's outreach programs aim to connect the homeless population with resources, but the demand often outweighs the supply. Advocates stress the need for more long-term treatment options. San Diego's tourism industry contrasts sharply with its homelessness crisis, as public spaces like parks and beaches are often shared by tourists and unhoused residents. This has sparked debates over public safety and cleanliness, adding pressure on local governments to act. Despite these challenges, San Diego continues to explore innovative solutions, such as converting motels into housing and increasing investment in affordable housing projects. The city is striving to balance its reputation as a world-class destination with the urgent need to address its homelessness crisis. Number 5. Seattle, Washington. Seattle's homeless population has grown to over 15,000 individuals, making it one of the most visible crises in the Pacific Northwest. The city's tech boom has driven up housing costs dramatically, with rents in many areas exceeding $20 per month for a one-bedroom apartment. This economic disparity has left many struggling to keep a roof over their heads. Homeless encampments have become common in Seattle, particularly in neighborhoods like Capitol Hill and Ballard. Efforts to clear these camps have drawn criticism, as many argue that they displace residents without offering viable alternatives. Temporary shelters often operate at capacity, leaving gaps in support. Mental health and addiction challenges are prominent among Seattle's homeless population. The city has invested in mobile outreach units and addiction treatment centers, but these resources are often stretched thin. Advocates stress the importance of addressing systemic issues to create lasting change. Seattle's climate adds another layer of complexity, with cold, rainy winters posing significant risks for those without shelter. Public services like warming centers and food banks play a critical role, but they can't meet the growing demand. Despite the challenges, Seattle remains committed to finding solutions, including investments in affordable housing and programs like Housing First, which prioritizes permanent shelter before addressing other needs. The city continues to seek a balance between growth and social responsibility. Number 4. San Francisco, California. San Francisco's homeless population stands at approximately 19,000, making it one of the most severe homelessness crises in the U.S. The city's notoriously high housing costs, with one-bedroom apartments averaging $3,200 per month, leave even middle-income residents struggling. For low-income individuals, finding housing is nearly impossible. Homelessness is highly visible in San Francisco, particularly in neighborhoods like the Tenderloin and Mission District. While the city has implemented programs like safe sleeping sites and housing subsidies, the problem persists due to the sheer scale of need. Encampments have become a common sight in public spaces. Substance abuse and mental health issues are significant challenges in San Francisco's homeless population. The city has increased funding for mental health services and addiction recovery programs, but systemic barriers often prevent individuals from accessing these resources effectively. San Francisco has faced criticism for its approach to homelessness, with some accusing the city of prioritizing tech-driven development over social welfare. However, new initiatives, such as modular housing and expanded shelter options, aim to create more immediate solutions. The city's homelessness crisis is a stark contrast to its reputation as a hub for innovation and wealth. Tackling this issue requires a comprehensive approach that addresses both housing affordability and social services. Number 3. New York City, New York. New York City, the most populous city in the U.S., has a homeless population of over 70,000 individuals in 2024. The city's high cost of living and limited affordable housing options are major contributors to its homelessness crisis. Despite extensive resources, the demand for assistance continues to grow. New York City's shelter system is one of the largest in the country, housing nearly 60,000 people nightly. However, thousands still sleep on the streets, in subways, or in encampments. The city's right to shelter law ensures access to emergency housing, but shelters often operate at capacity. Economic inequality plays a significant role in the city's homelessness crisis. Many individuals and families struggle to make ends meet, with rising rents and stagnant wages pushing them into precarious situations. Programs like rental assistance aim to provide relief, but systemic challenges persist. Mental health and addiction are also prevalent among the city's homeless population. New York has invested in outreach programs, but the scale of the problem requires broader interventions. Advocates call for more permanent housing solutions rather than temporary fixes. Despite these challenges, New York City remains committed to addressing homelessness through innovative policies and increased funding for affordable housing. The city's complex landscape underscores the urgent need for lasting solutions. Number 2. Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles has one of the largest homeless populations in the country, with over 75,000 individuals living without permanent shelter in 2024. The city's housing crisis is at the heart of the issue, with rents soaring and affordable housing in short supply. Many residents are just one paycheck away from losing their homes. The city's Skid Row area has become synonymous with homelessness, housing thousands in makeshift tents and shelters. Efforts to address the crisis include expanded shelter options and supportive housing projects, but progress is slow. The scale of homelessness in Los Angeles is overwhelming for local resources. Mental health and addiction are significant factors contributing to the city's homelessness crisis. While Los Angeles has increased funding for treatment programs, the lack of coordination between services often leaves individuals falling through the cracks. Advocacy groups emphasize the need for systemic reform. Encampments have spread to nearly every part of the city, from downtown to suburban neighborhoods. This has sparked debates over public safety, sanitation, and the allocation of resources. Local businesses and residents often clash over how to address these challenges. Despite these obstacles, Los Angeles is pursuing solutions like permanent supportive housing and rent control measures. The city's ability to manage its homelessness crisis will be a key factor in shaping its future. Number 1. Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix has seen one of the fastest-growing homeless populations in the U.S., reaching over 80,000 individuals in 2024. The city's affordable housing shortage and extreme heat make it a challenging place for those without shelter. Rising rents and a lack of tenant protections have worsened the crisis. Encampments have become widespread in downtown Phoenix and surrounding areas, often leading to public health concerns. The city has invested in shelters and cooling centers to address immediate needs, but these measures are temporary solutions for a growing problem. Many individuals remain unsheltered year-round. Economic inequality is a major driver of homelessness in Phoenix, with low wages and limited access to affordable health care leaving many vulnerable. While job opportunities in industries like construction and tech have expanded, housing supply has not kept pace with demand. The city's climate adds another layer of difficulty, with summer temperatures frequently exceeding 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 43 degrees Celsius. Heat-related illnesses are a serious concern for those living on the streets. Emergency services are overwhelmed during peak summer months, highlighting the urgency of the crisis. Phoenix's growing population and limited resources make it a focal point for the national homelessness conversation. Addressing the root causes, from housing shortages to systemic inequality, will be essential to reversing this trend. That's the list of the 10 most homeless cities in America in 2024. These cities showcase the complexity of homelessness, from rising housing costs to systemic challenges. Solving these issues requires bold actions and innovative solutions. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos for more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching, and as always, be kind to one another.